Philemon is asking, does Ville have any book recommendations for us avid readers around the world searching for inspiration? There's a book that just came out called Straight White Male by John Niven. He's a guy who wrote Kill Your Friends. I still haven't actually read the book, but it's supposedly superb, so check it out. It's a really funny story about a fella, fictional character in the realm of, I think, screenwriting, and he's an author, and it's definitely not for under 18s. It's super funny, super gross, and ridiculously nihilistic. At least, that's what I've heard about it. So I can't wait to get back home and start reading it. Now I'll be just reading. I did Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. I loved Hellraiser, old films, but I never actually read that novella. So I just got through that, and then there's who was that guy? What was the guy's name? A horror book called The Breed that came out maybe 6 months ago, and that's great. That's one of the best horror things. Some reason I'm on this horror trip at the moment. I want to make myself scared. Probably the reason because I don't sleep in the bus, at the end of the day, but can't have it all. Greetings from Brazil. My question is, what inspired you to write Gone with the Sin? I absolutely love this song. And a smiley face. This fairly personal. I was in a relationship, and let's say both of the participants weren't doing that well and had trouble and were struggling to get through, everyday life in general. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I think that at the end of the day, good music should hopefully get the imagination running. So it's nice when you can have your own interpretation, as opposed to me just telling exactly what, who, when, and what for, and whatnot. So. Princess Stella is asking, have you ever thought, I wish I wrote that song? If so, which one? Yeah, that song would be Happy Birthday to You. I think that would have been awesome. And then the royalties out of that song would have made me, not too stressed about what kind of bread is on my table and what kind of roof is on top of my head. But as far as I've understood, Michael Jackson did own the rights for it, so maybe I can haggle. We'll see what happens. Wish us luck. Merv Hellscream is asking, if you weren't musicians, who or what would you be? Well, my dad owns a sex shop in Helsinki, and I used to work there before this band, so I'd probably be selling dildos for a living. It'd be the Valo thingy, because, he's still doing it. He enjoys it, and there's a lot of him fans that when they travel to Helsinki, they go there and get my dad's t-shirts and stuff, and occasional, lube, and the stuff you need for love. So I'm sure that'd be working in that business more or less. Sabrina is asking, how annoying is it for you at the concerts when you see so many people just holding up their cameras instead of enjoying the concert? Well, that's a good question. It is odd when people spend money and then they kind of like watch the gig through an iPhone camera. But then at the end of the day, I think it's way better than seeing people yawning in the first row, because that's happened too, and you know how contagious yawning can be. So it's the worst when you start yawning on stage too, and it becomes this big yawn fest. So no, I don't mind, and it's at the end of the day, I think it's safer than the lighters like back in the day. Eloina K. Ville, with age you look better and better. How do you keep fit? I don't. Cigarettes kill the need to eat. Well, I do love Old Ols, non-alcoholic beer, so that helps out with the, my head doesn't look like a balloon as much as it used to, but no, at the end of it, how do I keep fit? And I'm vegetarian, so maybe that helps, but I think more or less the question is about pictures that were heavily photoshopped, so thank you. Carrie is asking, what's the biggest milestone in your musical career? Well, let's say, to be honest with you, I think being here tonight, because, every day brings new challenges, and then at the same time, when we got the band together and got our first demo done back in '94 or something like that, that was pretty amazing actually, to hear this band playing and have a C cassette and giving that to your friends and asking a bit of money, like $2 for each cassette or whatever. That's probably the reason $2 that I still have most of the cassettes back home. But yeah, it's a constant journey, and and it's challenging every day, and it should be. I don't think that there was one super big watershed moment for the whole band that would have changed everything entirely. It's been happening these little baby steps towards here, I guess. All right. No, we're done. Surprisingly enough, that was surprisingly quick. So thank you very much for for the questions. That's can I keep this? Okay, I'll show it to the rest of the guys. We're gonna be laughing our way to the next city, definitely. So yeah, thanks for watching and listening, and be good, all of you dear people. So till next time, ta-ta.